At the Chinese Grand Prix sprint qualifying, Charles Leclerc was on a flying lap. Flat out, everything working. Coming out of turn 11, the Ferrari lost grip for a fraction of a second. Leclerc lifted his right foot by the smallest possible margin, not to slow down, not to save a mistake, but to stabilize the car. It worked. The slide was caught. The lap continued, except it did not, because at the exact moment, Leclerc's throttle input dropped below 98%, a line of code inside the Ferrari's control system saw a threshold violation. Not a driver saving a slide, a threshold violation. The computer cut electrical power permanently for the rest of that lap. Leclerc put his foot back down. The power was gone. His qualifying lap was destroyed, not by a driving mistake, but by an algorithm that had no way to understand the difference between a driver in trouble and a driver making a recovery save. That is the problem at the heart of Formula One's 2026 season, and that is why the FIA is now in emergency meetings, trying to change 6 different things about the regulations before the Miami Grand Prix on May 1st. Some of these changes will help. Some of them involve trade-offs that nobody is fully comfortable with, and one of them cannot be fixed until 2027, regardless of what anyone decides this week. Subscribe to Formula Vandals. Let's go through all 6. To understand why 6 rule changes are necessary, you need to understand what actually went wrong with the 2026 regulations. The fundamental issue is the battery. Under the current rules, the cars are required to harvest and deploy up to 9 megajoules of electrical energy per lap. The battery that stores this energy has a maximum capacity of 4 megajoules. The math does not work. The car can deploy more than twice what the battery can hold in a single charge, which means the battery is constantly cycling between empty and full across every lap. To keep it charged, drivers lift off the throttle on approach to corners, sometimes up to 200 meters before the braking zone. During that coasting phase, the mechanical resistance of the MGUK acting on the rear axle generates electricity and feeds it back into the battery. It is efficient, it is mathematically reliable, and it makes Formula One look like something it was never supposed to be. When drivers lift 200 meters before a braking zone, late braking overtakes become impossible. Not difficult, impossible. Verstappen confirmed this at Suzuka when he explained that he could pass Gasly, but chose not to because overtaking into a braking zone would leave his battery empty and he would be repassed on the very next straight. That is not racing. That is energy management. The second consequence is speed differentials. When cars run out of battery on a straight, they lose approximately 500 horsepower instantaneously. The car in front slows dramatically. The car behind, still on deployment, is closing at speeds the sport has never seen in a straight line. Oliver Bearman hit the barrier at Spoon Curve in Japan because of exactly this dynamic. The car in front slowed. Bearman's car did not. That combination, drivers managing batteries instead of racing, and cars creating lethal speed differentials when batteries die, is what has forced the FIA into 6 separate attempted fixes before Miami. The first 2 changes are directly connected and need to be understood together. Change 1. Reduce the qualifying energy limit from the current 9 megajoules per lap to 6. Change 2. Raise the super clipping harvesting limit from 250 kilowatts to 350 kilowatts, matching the harvesting rate of lift and coast. Start with the megajoule reduction. Going from 9 to 6 megajoules per lap does not sound dramatic, but consider what it means in practice. At 9 megajoules, drivers are required to harvest aggressively because the gap between what the battery can hold and what the car needs to deploy is enormous. At 6 megajoules, that gap narrows significantly. The car deploys less electrical energy per lap, which means the battery runs out less dramatically, which means the cliff edge speed differentials that caused Bearman's crash become less severe. But, and this is important, less electrical energy also means slower cars. If the reduction works as intended, the cars arrive in Miami deploying less power per lap than they did in Japan. That is the trade-off. Safer, slower. The super clipping change is the companion fix. Currently, drivers can harvest 250 kilowatts through super clipping, but 350 kilowatts through lift and coast. The gap between those 2 numbers is why lift and coast dominates. It is simply more efficient. By raising the super clipping limit to 350 kilowatts, matching the lift and coast rate, the FIA removes the mathematical incentive to lift. Drivers who stay flat on the throttle can now harvest as efficiently as drivers who coast, In theory, late braking return. This connects to the fourth proposed change, reducing the amount of algorithmic control that teams can apply to energy management during a lap. Currently, sophisticated software models run on the FIA standard ECU and essentially pre-program the deployment sequence for each lap based on data from previous laps. Drivers receive instructions through their steering wheel displays, telling them which settings to adjust at which points on the circuit. The proposal is to reduce the complexity of what these models are permitted to do, forcing more of the energy deployment decision-making back into the driver's hands in real time. Whether this produces better racing or simply different racing is genuinely uncertain, but the principle that a driver should be the primary decision-maker about how their car deploys its power is one that has broad support across the paddock. The fifth proposed change is the one with the most potential and the most uncertainty. Currently, active aerodynamics in 2026 operates in designated zones, similar to how DRS worked under the previous regulations. When a driver enters an activation zone, they can press a button to open both the front and rear wings simultaneously, reducing aerodynamic drag by up to 40% and gaining significant straight-line speed. The proposal is to remove the zone restriction and allow drivers to activate their active aero at any point on the circuit at their own discretion. The logic is compelling. If drivers can open their wings whenever they choose, the aerodynamic efficiency battle returns to Formula One. Teams would design chassis with dynamic setups in mind, rather than optimizing purely for fixed zone conditions. Drivers who keep their wings open longer take more risk in corner entry, but gain more speed on the straight. Drivers who close earlier sacrifice straight-line speed, but have more downforce through the corners. That trade-off, wing management versus lap time, is exactly the kind of driver skill differentiation that Formula One is supposed to reward. Ferrari have already been developing this direction with the Macarena wing concept. The ability to have the rear wing rotate and reduce drag at driver command, rather than in a fixed zone, is precisely what a free active aero environment would enable. But the risk is real. A driver who miscalculates when to close their wings, arriving at a high-speed corner with less downforce than they expected, could produce an accident far more serious than the speed differential crashes the current regulations have already caused. This is not a hypothetical risk. It is the reason the zone restrictions were put in place in the first place. The sixth change is also the most honest admission in the entire package. Raising the fuel flow limit would increase combustion horsepower and reduce dependence on the battery. But these engines were built to specific parameters. Changing them mid-season risks reliability consequences nobody wants. This is a 2027 solution, and everyone in the room knows it. That is the truth underneath all six changes. The rules can be improved. The underlying problem, a battery too small for what the regulations demand, cannot be fixed in time. Six changes. Reduce megajoules, raise superclipping, simplify the algorithm, free the active aero, loosen the ramp-down threshold, signal fuel flow for 2027. Some of these will make Miami better. None of them fix the foundation. Whether they are enough, whether Verstappen can make a move stick, whether Leclerc can save a slide without losing his lap, whether Behrman's crash cannot happen again, that is what May 1st answers. 6 changes in 2 weeks is not a revolution. It is an attempt. Subscribe to Formula Vandals. Every development from the April meetings to race day in Miami.